Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the RealNex webinar series. Today we have our session on charting your course with RealNex Navigator, the full end-to-end solution within the RealNex platform. So we'll be talking today about business development, building your database of properties and prospects, to pursuing opportunities, financial underwriting and investment analysis, to creating presentations and packages and offering memorandums, as well as using our private and secure virtual deal rooms and transaction management apps to generate more business, win more business, close more deals, and make more money. So got my man Matt Smith on the line. Matt's going to take us on a tour through the platform, give us a great overview, and show you how to make it work. And if you have any questions along the way, please post them, and we will do our best to address them along the way or at the back end of the session. So Matt, take it away. And I think you have a lot of new features to share and show along the way as well. So for those of you who are existing RealNex users, a lot of new information for you, and for everyone else who's looking at it for the first time, we hope you enjoy what you have to see and look forward to working with you in the future.
Fantastic, Jeff. Thanks as always for the great introduction here. You know, lately people have been asking me, man, I keep on running into things that RealNex can do that I didn't know it can do. What is the overall functionality of RealNex? What are all the pieces and portions of it? And you know, Jeff came up with this Navigator layout, and it's absolutely fantastic. So I kind of wanted to start this presentation off a little bit different, and I wanted everybody to understand some of the workflow deal management. I'll leave it up here for a second if you want to take a screenshot of it. I have folks on this call that have taken screenshots of this, and it's been very helpful for them to really understand some of the workflow of RealNex and some of the pieces and portion that RealNex can help you. Also, what I've done before in the past is I was able to take this screenshot that I have here, and then what I started to do is I started to add little section pieces on here. This is what I want to use it for. This is what I want to do it for. This is here what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, or how am I replacing it. So you might want to take a screenshot of this and then start marking it up, maybe in you know, in Word or one of those little drawing programs or something like that, to really understand, you know, the workflow of RealNex and then how it's really going to fit into your business. From the CRM, which we're going to talk about, because RealNex is made up of 4 main categories, and you're going to have a subcategory on there, which would be the virtual reality. But your CRM is going to manage your company, your contacts, property, spaces, comps, events, timelines, and projects. You can see here how this takes over the whole deal management portion. You know, project assignments and lead prospecting and client reporting. It also can replace or subsidize some of your programs. Remember, some of our solutions will enrich what you currently have or make the programs you have work better or more efficient, and other times it's going to replace those products, and you can see that on the right hand side. And you might use pieces and portions of it. You might want to say, you know, I'm going to keep track of companies and contacts, events and timelines. I'm going to use it for underwriting proposals, tour books and ratings, listing marketplace, and then I'm going to talk about pre-leasing with VR, and then maybe I'm going to plug in some other things. You know, again, this is something that you might want to take a quick screenshot of so you can start understanding where RealNex really fits in to your dashboard. Now, obviously, you don't want to see a blank screen, so we want to make this as fun and interactive for everybody that's on this call. So now I'm going to go and switch my screen over to the main screen right here, and hopefully everybody can see it as we go through this. So remember, we're broken up into a black screen. Oh, that's not good. Hopefully you'll see that when you come back on there. If for any reason you can't see my screen, let us know in the questions, but you should be able to see my screen from right here with that. Like I mentioned, we're broken up into about 4 main categories. We have our property search, listing management in green. Orange is going to be the CRM. That's going to be your beginning and end of the system. Then you're going to have your red, which is going to be your presentation and property analysis, lease analysis, virtual deal room, and then blue is our tour book and deal management. We also have RealNex Virtual Reality, which has been great. Remember, there's really not a minimum on the VR. So if you have a value add project or something like that you need to get done, just shoot it over to the sales team and we'll give you a proposal. So a couple things that are really important with your inside of our program. If you are an existing user, remember, If you have an idea, let us know. We really want to hear from you. That doesn't mean call me next week and ask me where it is, but just let us know. Also support. I know everybody loves to talk to me, which I'm super flattered about. I've been getting a lot of emails. If something goes wrong, please make sure you contact support. You're welcome to contact me as well, but I am not technically savvy whatsoever. I know how to use a mouse and a keyboard, but other than that, that's where it stops. So remember, you always have support in a great little book now for you. And then as always, guide me. So these sessions, some people come for them for training, some people come for them for, seeing what RealNex could do. And really what it is just it's a quick teaser that we run through the program to show you what a complete day in the life of would look like. It is not necessarily a training program. However, you can get training tidbits, but Guide Me will walk you through the different training portions of our program. So if you click on Guide Me, you can see the library, and that talks about listings to marketing, data management. It can even walk you through doing a full discounted cash flow financial analysis, lease analysis, or tour book with the whole video series on there. So that's going to keep track of that. We do have a direct integration, and it is up and live now with the Gmail platform as well as Office 365. A lot of requests for the Gmail. The synchronization is now 100% where it synchronizes your emails back and forth automatically, no BCCing, synchronizes your events automatically. You can also skip events. So if you want to synchronize just meetings, you can. If you want to synchronize it all, you can. But we do allow that functionality of skipping events. And then synchronizing your contacts. You can choose to synchronize it back and forth, or you can go ahead and have it brought in one way or another. It's a complete enterprise solution made for one or scalable up to 5, 10, 15,000 with our user management. So if you're on a large team and you want to keep track of information, it's easily to do so. We can segment from office to office. We can segment from team to team. We can segment from country to country or just individual agents. And you do have full permissions for each one of those agents and settings within inside of our program. A lot of times we're getting questions about how do we bring in data? How do we do data? What if I told you can buy RealNex and it comes just like this, right? Pretty magical. We are going to have RX data, that is RealNex data. We're going to be providing, it's going to be coming from First American Title. We'll populate your database with the MSA or MSAs you choose, as well as your asset class or asset classes. So if you say, I want San Diego industrial, no problem. We'll give you a quote. We'll populate your database, nothing for you to do. It's simply going to look just like this. You're going to have the contact. You're going to have the true owner. You're going to have the property, and you're going to have the property details available to us, and it will be populated in your database. We'll also update it every quarter for you, included in that cost of the data. And if you continue with us each additional year, we'll continue to update that data. Nice thing about it is we're working on making sure you have that data set in there updated, and it's piercing that LLC so you can get to that true owner to make money faster and easier. If you want to go ahead and bring in data from any other third-party source to enrich that data, or if you just have a data source that's available to you, i.e. CoStar, Reonomy, and so forth, you can use one of our import wizards to easily bring that information in. The import wizards will allow you to download a template. XLS is what I like to do. 4.5-minute video to walk you through how to do it. And long as you do it properly, it'll bring in the information and tie it and relate it back in. So if a client or a company owns 15 properties, leases 15 spaces, it brings all that information in one area so you're able to prospect on it. You can also add information in manually, and you can even do it from your mobile app. So if you're in the field, you can add contacts, companies, or properties, take pictures of the information in the field so it's usable back in your system. We try to make our program as user-friendly as possible with a keyword search. So if you want to find a company, you want to find a contact, that information is available to you right inside of our program. So everybody asks me, how do you see the program? And I see the program as a way to match buyers and sellers and tenants in space. If you're currently using our program, I want you to think long and hard about value and adding value to your records. If you have 50 contacts, 100 contacts, 1,000 contacts, think of which ones have value and which ones don't. Now, what I mean value is if you're a tenant rep, keeping track of some tenant requirements or what tenants are in the market. If you're in investment sales, what do your investors invest in? If you're working on landlords, same thing. You want to keep that information, and we can help you easily do that in our program. We have an easy to read dashboard. We integrate into the calendar system. We have our project system as well as companies, and then properties and spaces for all the prospecting needs. Now, today I'm going to try to run through more of a live scenario of, going from bringing the data into, prospecting, but I do want to make sure that everybody understands, whether you're going off properties or you're going off contacts, there's easy ways to utilize our program.
Hey,
So,
Matt,
yeah.
just before you jump into that, on the data, as you mentioned, it's something we're just in the beginning stages of, and we'll be rolling it out in August, late August. But if you're interested in being an early adopter and learning more about that before we broadly roll it out, please send a note through the question box. And I think you mentioned it had all the base building information in the market and ownership, but it also has tenant profiles of the list of tenants at the location. Not going to have expiration dates and sizing, but it'll have a list of people with that address. It also has comparable sales, most two recent sales of that property, so I have a comp database in the market, and it includes all of the loans. So the lender, the loan amount, the interest rate, and when it's coming due. So in a given environment that we're in, loans coming up for renewal in the next couple of years look like they could be interesting triggers for sale opportunities. So pretty powerful business development early warning system. So if you're interested in that, I see a number of people coming in with queries already. Let me know, and we'll get you on the early adopter list to at least take a look at that and see how you can make it work. And the information is also, it's updated more frequently than quarterly. And some of it's updated weekly, other monthly, and other quarterly. So it's just updated as fast as we can get it, and then it's delivered to you as soon as we have it.
Yeah, and remember, it's not like we're hopping on your machine and going through an import process with you for hours and hours and hours. It's automatic. You set it and forget it, just like Ron Popeil said it with those old dehydrators he used to watch when I was a little kid. You set it and forget it, walk away, and the next thing you know, your information's in there for easy prospecting. And it also is fully relational. I'll show you how that relationship can work. I'm also going to talk to you about a couple things in here. Remember, we had a video series that led up to this. So don't forget to go back and look at those mini series that leads up to this whole process, because I think it's important. We're going to give you a view of a tile view. We're going to give you a list view. And this is where you're adding information in to keep track of buyer requirements. So mine is set for multifamily. You can have your set for tenant rep. You can have your set for industrial. You create some of these fields with the fields we have in our program. And if you want to track something more than we have user fields you can customize with a click of a button. You simply right click, change caption, and you can do it. There's no coding necessary. You don't have to pay us or call us. However, if you need help, we're here to help you. We do work with phone systems that are click to dial, as long as there's a Chrome plugin or a plugin in one of the web browsers there for you. But you can order the information around. So, as you're working on tenants and following up with their requirements and lease expiries and note expirations, you have the ability to keep track of it. And we even added the ability to edit on the fly. So if you want to edit this information, it works similarly to a spreadsheet. You can add additional notes, schedule events, create timelines, call timers, and even check for duplicates. Duplicate checker now runs at 100 duplicates at a time to easily work on that. Mapping, you'll notice that there's going to be a new map view in our program. Over on the right-hand side, right over here, you're going to see that there is a new toolbar to select from. Now, what's nice about this toolbar is it gives you a lot of different options. One is going to be the ability just to move your mouse around, and you can zoom in manually with that. You also have the ability to do a radius search. So I was just giving an example of ICSC. ICSC is in San Diego. We want to do a quick radius search, pull up all the prospects that are in that area. Now we want to go ahead and create a nice little reel campaign. We can do that, and we can send an email to everybody, let us know, hey, we're headed to ICSC for San Diego, or maybe you're coming down here for the beach. You also have a polygon search. So if you want to draw a polygon, zip code search. Well, this is great because now what it's going to do is zoom in. And if you're on a team or you're designated to work a certain zip code, you don't have to do a zip code search anymore or filter. You just pick the zip codes off the map. It'll add them right into here, and you can save that as a filter so you can easily grab that information for prospecting purposes. We do give you traffic conditions, transit routes as well. Now, we're not giving you traffic counts, but if you look at it, you can be like, hey, by the way, you have a high, you have dense traffic right around that area in Mission Trails. I think that's a great place for some space for retail. Maybe it's a good conversation point on that. You also do get the ability to do a nice little split screen. This works really well when you're going ahead and you're working the property side or spaces side. If you want to work on a block or some other designated area, it works fantastic for that. But no matter where you're at in our program, whether you're on a property, a contact, a company, this view is going to be the same. It's just going to be the different data that you're going to be viewing with inside of our program. Just like I have here, nice little split screen. I can see the pictures of my properties. Everybody asks me, how do I get my pictures in there? One is we do have the ability to drag and drop. Now be careful when you drag and drop stuff off the web. So if you go ahead to Google and you type in, 123 Main Street for that property, just make sure it's not a copywritten property. There's also a system that I use. It's called Street View Screenshot. You can take a street screenshot here and you can drag that information right into your RealNex property. So that's one to add property pictures on there. Another way to get the pictures is you can utilize your phone when you're out in the field to add the information. We do give you the ability to auto address using your geo coordinates. It also is going to allow you to put many pictures. So if you want to take tons of pictures, you can even go ahead and you can take pictures of all the different tenants that are in there for a multi-tenanted building. So if you have multiple tenants in there, just like Flamingo Business Park, and you want to show the different pictures for the spaces down in there, or any one of these office buildings that have multiple tenants, you'll be able to see that in there. Just like this one here for Grove Business Park. You can see here I have the complete rent roll. With our phone system, you can do a complete building stack. Someone asked me yesterday during a presentation, what is a stack? Well, I call it a business stack in most of it because it's going to be a stack of all the tenants that are in there. Typically, that's referred to as a business stack in office because it's going up. You can add the complete rent roll from an industrial building to a retail mall or anything all from your phone. Use a program like CamCard. It will synchronize the contact record right in there and you can tie the tenants to it and schedule a follow-up. You'll also notice, some of you that have used our program for quite some time, you also notice that you see now a last activity and next activity is with a plus sign. Those you'll start seeing throughout our program. And what's fantastic about this is I left a message on the owner of the property of this building because it does tie not only to the building, but it also ties to the contact and the company with one click. And now I can see that I left a message for them on 7/8. I do not have a next step or a next activity. Otherwise, it would show in here. So I don't have to go back and forth from a history tab to an event tab to a history tab to a detailed tab. We want to make sure we can give you as much information on one screen as possible for you to make the educated decision on whether you need to make a phone call, follow-up, or any of the above. I like to use our system. Yeah.
I think that there are a number of new enhancements that you're going to be looking at today that not everyone will see on their screen, as we have recently launched a completely new version of our cloud CRM. So it's not tied to the legacy of the desktop or the hybrid that many of you came from in the past. So if you're not seeing the same things Matt is showing, don't worry, just reach out and contact us and we'll make sure you get upgraded to the latest version of the platform.
Yeah, that's fantastic. We were just with a team yesterday and they said, hey, I don't have all these functionality. You can simply go ahead and submit a support ticket and say, hey, migrate me to the newest cloud system out there. If you are one of our legacy clients that are using what we call the hybrid system, where you do have an orange icon with the old school desktop, you are going to have to eliminate that desktop. But look, there's no reason to be on that anymore. It's old technology. Move to the new system, embrace it. It's great. We're here to help you, and we'll bring you across there. These custom columns here, this one here again was made for multifamily. You can change it for industrial. I call some of them smiles and dials or prospecting. As Jeff mentioned, you want to see what the note expiration date or transaction date, and you want to call on each one of those property owners that have a note expiring at a certain period of time. You can easily do that with our program right in here, and all you have to do is change some of those columns on there. So it makes it real easy to be able to see. We want to sort by transaction date, and now I can start going on each one of these. And if I did my filter view with my zip codes, it would only show those zip codes that I have in here. And now I can easily go down here on the left-hand side. I can call each one of those owners. As I click on that number, if I have a click to dial, it'll pop up. And you also notice this here, and if you don't see this on yours, you're probably on the older system, that it ties a history to the business park, which is the property I'm calling it. It ties a history to the contact, and it ties the history to the company. Well, why is that important? Because if they call back in and you see a California title company on the caller ID and you want to pull it up, you can see that you called Ken on Center Point Business Park, all from the company. If you look up Ken's record, you can see that you called Center Point Business Park on the contact. And if you look at the property, you can see that you called Ken of California Title Company on Center Point Business Park. And I can't hit home enough that if you call me on one of my buildings and I call you back and say, hey, Jeff, you called me on one of my buildings, and you say, which building, I'm probably going to hang up. I want to make sure you know what you're doing and you research what you research, and you're calling me for a purpose, not just to try to get me to sell my building, that you actually have a reason why you're calling. So it's important to be able to have that. Now, where it really becomes fun is we can start taking this information and now we can make use of it. Again, yesterday, out in the field, showing some of the brokers on what we can do and how we can do stuff. We're out there calling. We want to go ahead and get a hold of Antonio. Antonio says, yeah, he's not really interested right now. Antonio, have you checked and looked at the value of your property lately? You know, I haven't, but I don't have time to talk. Sayonara. Okay, no problem. Now, most of you are going to do this. You're going to go ahead and you're going to go down and you're going to call Pat Sajak and ask him if he wants to sell his property and do the same thing over again. Well, I'm not. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hit analyze and go to. Now, when I hit analyze and go to, what it's doing is it's taking the information out, whether I have the complete rent roll or the unit mix. It takes the information out, including the picture if I have it. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fly over to my income tab. I'm going to choose quick income analysis. I'm going to pipe in the monthly income, growth rate, and annual vacancy. I know Antonio's area, North Carolina. I know it, and I know it well. If I don't, there's plenty of places to research that information. If you do have comparables inside of RealNex, you can run the comparables as well. Like Jeff mentioned, we will give you the last 2 sales if available. That'll be in your comparable side that you can pull that information out. And your comparables do integrate into this package creation, which is even cooler. It's like, wow, you're providing the data, you're providing the system, we do the presentation. Oh, I need to add some comparables in there. No problem. The comparables can be piped right in there. But with 5 small attributes, your income, expenses, growth, and vacancy, I'm able to get a quick broker opinion of value. Now I can say I know what market cap is out on the field, no problem. I can pipe that into my property. I can come over here to templates. If I'm part of a company, I can have organizational templates saved, so my marketing team made for me. If I want to go ahead and use one of the RealNex templates, I can load one of these templates, or I can save my own template that gives me the layout that I want. I've showed a lot of teams and individuals where they can go ahead and they can take the cover page, their bio, and a simple BOV BPO page, choose a cap rate range, and come up with that. Now, the client's not expecting something like this. We're just going to shoot them over, and we're going to say email. And now I can go ahead and put their email address down in here, and I can say, please review this broker opinion of value that I prepared to you. You know, hi, Antonio, wanted to let you know that I prepared a broker opinion of value for you. It gives a quick cap rate range. If you want more of a detailed valuation, please give me a call. I just thought it'd be important that you know somewhere around where your property can be worth. Thanks and have a great day. That's a great, fantastic way that you can go ahead and you can get your foot in the door with an owner, and they understand that you are, you know, trying to educate them on what their property could be worth. Now, if you get that phone call back, one is you'll see all the history inside the system. 2, you can import your complete rent roll, right, from Excel, or if it's in the CRM, it can be brought right in here, or you can manually do it. This took me 10 minutes to do. Simple. I wanted to see what the rent roll looked like individualized because the rent was all over the place. Also, it was a very mom and pop deal. So I wanted to make sure that I had all the expenses put out and so forth. But this can allow you to do complete valuation. So we choose what our property is. We choose the type of the property. That's just going to allow us to select what kind of income, whether it's going to be a unit mix or it's going to be your rent roll for tenants. We can help generate an ideal cap rate with a price analyzer. Well, you had a cap rate of 5.5 when you purchased it. You would like a 4.5 target cap. It'll calculate here, and I'd have to sell the property for 1.4 million. So again, this system's going to help you go along and navigate through our program. Development analysis. You have a value add property. We have a complete development analysis that puts in your hard cost, soft cost, acquisition costs. If you have a client, maybe they want to look for a lease first buy. You know, you have a tenant right now that is leasing, but maybe it'd be good to find them a nice owner user building. No problem. And if you're not sure how to do any of this stuff, we do have training videos and Guide Me that walks you through the whole portion of the program, where you can simply select property page, and this is going to walk you through how to add the address. If you have land, we have geocoding, so you can geo-coordinate the property in there for the longitude and latitude. And this will walk you through every aspect of our program here. Rentable square feet, so forth and so forth. And this information here will populate into your marketing collateral. Now, this can also go ahead and help you with your depreciation. So you add your value of land in here, your resale expenses, your overall discount rate. If you're not sure what overall discount rate is, put your mouse over and it's going to talk to you a little bit about discount rates and equity rates and reinvestment rates. It also talks to you about tax information and general vacancy. And ultimately, if you get stuck, you can always message King James and he'll be here to help answer it for you. You can even share your proposals from one company to another company by using our real estate exchange. You can even send it to customer service if you want. And you can see here we have quite a few people that are putting their information on the exchange. You can individualize and send it to somebody else as well. And you can even download one of our academic community analysis to look at office or multifamily that Dr. Jeffrey Fisher completed for your analysis. Even in some states, Jeff and I were talking about CE credits. We're working hopefully with some new companies or some existing companies, and we maybe will roll out some programs in some states with some CE credits where we'll walk through this portion. Detailed income expenses, so you can itemize those expenses for your pro forma, reserve replacements and capital, your debt services, so all your financing and financing options with the ability to have a takeout loan. Maybe you've done a 5-year IO and you have a takeout loan in year 6. No problem, we can keep track of that, and we're continuing to add to our program to make it easier and more effective. Come down to your APOD, and now we can start looking at our cash flow. I typically don't do a 20-year cash flow, but you can do up to 20 years, and it will go ahead and calculate everything out for you. From looking at the spreadsheets that I have seen in the past to looking at what a marketing package can look like inside of RealNex, a full listing presentation or a simple couple-page flyer, I'm telling you, it's magnificent. I was with a large company yesterday, and I was talking to their marketing team, and I saw he had InDesign. Well, InDesign, there's no replacement for InDesign and customization. But I said, you know, that business map looks like it takes you a long time. And I won't tell you the words he actually said, but he said that it was absolute nightmare. In our program, you can come over here and we're going to delete restaurants, and I'm going to say search. And now I can add the businesses right in here. And, you know, we're in a very tertiary market in North Carolina right here in Concord. But most of the time you're going to see the icons on here. And you can also put them into groups. But what this gentleman took an hour or two doing with a bunch of folders on his desktop computer, I was able to show him how we can do it in 5 to 6 minutes. We made the icons larger. We can even add our own text box, and we can even add our own polygons. He's like, well, you can't do a polygon. I'm like, of course you can. We can show you how you can draw a polygon right on here. So then again, you have that polygon in there and your own text. You can show the footer and add margins. You can go from an arrow to a line or a line to an arrow, what you want, or you can have none. And you can move those around. You can even add a custom marker and change our marker right on here for you. So just this portion of the program was magical for him to be able to save that amount of time. But we also provide your demographics for 1, 3, and 5 mile radius that will populate for you automatically. Extended demographics. Photo dissolve. This has been great. Whoa, that doesn't look like a photo dissolve. What is that, Matt? It's a complete custom page. You can move the page down. You can move it over. You can select areas. You can even drag and drop what you want where you want it to include different things like a map. But I don't want a map. I want bullets. But I don't want bullets. I want a picture. You have full customization in these pages, and you can make these available for every package, for people on your team, or for anybody else. And you can even draw on the page if you really want to get crazy and add that information in here. Now, obviously, I'm not going to present this to somebody. It's for you to understand what it can do. We give you a lot of creative control within inside of our program. You can also see the different layouts, and we're going to go ahead and show you what it would look like in an example. And here's the different examples that are in here. So now you can start seeing all those different examples, what it would be like. I was with a gentleman earlier this morning, or maybe it was yesterday afternoon, that wants to be able to make sure that he can work on, offering complete, I can't even think of the word right now, but portfolios. Well, now you can go ahead and here's a portfolio of 4 properties right here. Now we can show those portfolios for sale right inside the system. So it does give you a lot of ability to enhance that. I've also been getting a lot of marketing packages that are coming to me in an email. The more attachments you have coming across, the more it's going to be blocked. Create a private secure deal room. This allows your clients to access a confidentiality agreement. 7 levels of security. Put your package in one, upload your CA, put the link in your email. It's a great way to do it. You can also digitize this full marketing package. So not only do you have a PDF, but you can digitize it. You can track when the client clicked the link inside the digital flipbook PDF. These flipbooks have been really powerful. A client yesterday said to me, hey, can I do a newsletter? These flipbooks are really cool. We can't do a newsletter like this, but you can add as much information in there as you want on those different pages. Again, I'm just giving you a quick little example with that information in there. You're part of a large company, no problem. We have company branding built right into our program. You can select the different cover pages that we have down in here, whether they're landscape or portrait. You can change the colors in your preferences. And again, we have things for Cushman Wakefield and NAI and CBRE, SVN, Marcus and Millichap, KW, Sperry CGA, EXP Commercial, Coldwell Banker, and the list goes on. When you do have our system, or if you currently have our system and you don't have that branding, submit a support ticket and say, I'd like the factory branding for my company, and we'll add it in there for you. We even have international settings. So if you want to have something in Spanish and you want to show the peso with meters, we can change that information around right in the preferences for you for each one of those. Market Edge websites are fantastic. These are micro websites that you can create for each one of your properties. But there's a new functionality in here, or old, you just didn't know about it. If you hit email, it creates the HTML code for you. So I can copy the HTML code of my property right in here, and I can go back over to Real Campaigns in my CRM and paste it and have an email that looks like this in a matter of seconds. It also does make a private website for you that you can go ahead and you can show your inventory on there. So other properties in there, you can see that information on there. Obviously, mine's just a test one and it's not showing. You can even add a video to a virtual tour link. Maybe you did a video with RealNex Video Maker, or maybe you did a video with our PIX company, PIX, virtual reality, and you want to put a virtual reality link in there. You can even put a link right in here to add that hyperlink in, so when someone clicks your PDF package, it's all right in there. And then on top of all this, we can easily publish this right to our listing in RealNex listings. So now we can take it to the open market. I was talking to a gentleman today that says, hey, how do I get my property inside of Marketplace so it's actively found and it's showed on my company website? I said, do you have a property in Market Edge? Yeah. You simply go ahead and hit send to Marketplace and it sends it right to Marketplace. Once you click active and searchable, it becomes active and searchable. But I don't want to disclose the address, or you know what, I want to show it on a map. You can easily move that map point around if it's not exactly right. You can have it undisclosed, so it's not undisclosed. You can select up to 3 property types, and then you can style the information you want. Question I got lately is, how do I add an attachment? You hit manage attachments. Do not hit photos if you want to add a file. Manage attachments. I know it sounds easy, but the question's been asked. You will agree to our terms, basically saying you're not uploading copyrighted information and floor plans and so forth. It is your information, or you can use a URL, but then it allows clients to download packages or any other details that maybe you don't want in a private secure war room. You can assign additional agents to your listing, so if you want multiple agents on there as well. And if you're a marketing admin or a coordinator, you can go ahead and create the listing and then assign it to somebody else on your team with ease. We have syndication status, so that means we do syndicate to other third-party channels. Just hit syndication up here and you can connect to those third-party channels on there. You can set your property featured, so when someone decides to search the RealNex marketplace, your property will show in gold or orange at the top, and it will, again, they randomize at the top from there. Social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter, you can send your information out, easily integrated into that. Do a nice little email right here, and you can send it up to 10 email addresses right inside there. Just to quickly do a share your listing, tie in your private secure deal room link, and you can create an email marketing campaign in a matter of seconds. If anybody can beat me creating an email campaign, I'll give you a little surprise, because with those clicks of a button, I was able to create my campaign, and I don't think you're beating me outside of RealNex. Now, if you use RealNex, it's not fair. I can't compete with it because you probably are faster than me. You can customize the colors on here. You can customize them for each email, or you can keep factory default ones in there. Save it as a draft so you can use it over and over again. And you can even go ahead and send yourself a test email to make sure it's exactly what you want. You can send it to our private list, your private list or our list. Our list is as little as $49 for an MSA, state is $69, and national is $129. So it's technically called the CBSA now. Most people don't know what that is. Essentially your metropolitan area. There's plenty of websites out there that will tell you what the metropolitan area is, or if you're not sure, you can even put the location in here, like San Diego will be a metropolitan area, and you'll see that pull up when you put that location in there. You can select multiple metros, but I recommend just to go right to a state for $69 and hit your whole state if you want to hit metros from other areas. We're also giving you all your statistics, listing statistics, and who viewed your listing. If you go and look at a piece of land, and you look at a piece of land in Las Vegas, I am willing to bet you'll probably get an email back within a matter of minutes, unless this company is not feeling well, where someone went ahead and they looked at their listing, and they can see who viewed their listing by coming over here and view listing statistics. And they will see you, and they will come over here, and I just need to change my dates in here. I've done it before on presentations, and I get an email back saying, hey Matt, I saw you looking at one of my pieces of land, because you can match these people right in the system, so it's really cool. They can respond in your email, and your email is going to synchronize right back into RealNex. Your email campaigns, all your statistics, opt-outs, opens, bounce, unsubscribed, all those fancy terminologies are all built right in the system. It all ties back into CRM automatically, so your unique opens, your clicks, your bounce, your spam, unsubscribed, delivered are all back underneath the contact record in there. So Tim went ahead and he opened the email. If we went back in the CRM and we saw Tim's information, we would see under here under campaigns that Tim, or in this case Antonio, had 2 emails delivered, but he didn't open them, and this one he opened. And you see the full statistics, including the email, right back inside of our program. 30 people clicked it, here they are. Create a group of those people, and then I can call them. Unsubscribed are some of my favorite. When someone unsubscribes, it's a great reason to call them. Sorry for giving you invalid content that you weren't interested in. What content would you be interested in? Perfect, great reason. Oh, you don't want industrial, you want office? No problem. Oh, you sold your building, you're looking for new space? I'd love to represent you. All those are fantastic ways. Now, this primarily focused on the sales side of things. No problem. You want to do sales, acquisition, syndication, we can manage that for you. We can manage all the information back in your projects as well for all your leasing needs, sales needs, and tenant needs. But I don't want to forget about tenant reps. We have all your space information. So knowing your area is fantastic. You're a national tenant rep. You represent national tenants across the United States or in other countries, right? We have clients in 37 plus countries. You're not going to know every property unless you buy the data from Jeff. But you know, as you do start to know those properties, remember this system integrates in there. If you're a landlord broker and you want to say, hey, this is one of my properties, you can select the property itself and hit lease analysis, and it pushes it right into our lease analysis for owner rep. So now you can show what the client would look like, because the client decided that, you know, they might want to go with 1,000 square foot or the 1,200 square foot option, and maybe they want to do different terms on theirs, and now you have the ability to show that analysis for the landlord side. You can also do it for the tenant side, and soon, I can't say soon, at some point in time, we plan on integrating this into our digital tour book. So remember, our presentation side of things, you'll have your comparative analysis, and your presentation output's going to be the same. As we're running up against some time, I'm going to have to go a little bit faster, but it does take the data out of the CRM, or you can easily go ahead and just input it yourself. Doesn't take a tremendous amount of time. Gives you your summary analysis for tenant side. You can use it for a landlord side for option 1, option 2, option 3. We've seen a lot of these happen when landlords were renegotiating the terms during the mass COVID section. Same cover pages are available to you inside of this program here. So if you're part of Coldwell Banker or Sperry or KW or CBRE or one of those teams, or you're an independent, you can do that as well. Obviously, here's your logo, and this is what it would look like. And now you can go ahead and you can preview and save that information. GuideMe can walk you through this as well. Now, before you get to this, you might want to create your long list of properties, and you might want to create that tour. You can easily do that with the RealNex tour book. Now, I know some people want to walk through this a little bit slower, and that's why we try to do these mini sessions, and the mini sessions cover the tour book and so forth. At some point, we'll plan on having integration into our marketplace and CRM, so these tour books are easy to create. But here you can see this is a landlord deal for Peachtree. All my deals in here. Here's my contact. That's going to be the tenant rep that I'm working with. The value, the inquiry, and comments. There's automatic reporting, so if you want to keep track of your landlord assignments in here and the details on that, you can easily do that. You can also create digital tours, which are fantastic. Some of these tours are able to be made up in here in minutes. This is one I did for Savills. I was showing them how easily you can make some of that's digitized. With the images in here, it took me about 10 or 15 minutes to create this. It's completely dynamic, so if we can't tour that building that day, or the ratings came back and we need to archive it, we can. It saves about 95% of time putting a tour book together versus a digital versus doing it like an InDesign or something like that. You drag and drop photos from anywhere you have photos. You can even take photos in the field. So if there's attributes your client didn't like or did like, you have the ability, and then you can customize the information that's important to them. Maybe it's going to be safety and security. Maybe it's going to be, you know, dock height and doors and electrical. Maybe it's going to be ease of access for the employees to get to, like for the location. And then you have the ability, once you start putting this information in there, as well as putting some of the comparative, the different, you know, responses from the landlord, you can go through here and you can compare those proposals. It'll compare those proposals, and it'll also create a nice little graph for you. I don't have any proposals on here, so let me go in and select one of the ones that does have proposals. And I think Jeff created a beautiful one in here that has some nice proposals. I do have a live deal in here, and I don't want to do that one, but you can compare these proposals, and I'll show you what the proposals look like, and you get a beautiful little comparative analysis. And we can even go ahead and we can graph those proposals. So nice little graph right inside that system here for you to manage that. So again, just real easy and basic to be able to create those tour books. You can archive them, you can add the information into it. Now, while you're doing all this, you're going to have a centralized place that's going to manage all these assignments. So as you're winning more and more assignments for sale, for lease, properties you're looking to acquire, properties that you're syndicating, we do have a centralized area called projects. Projects are important. They can keep track of your deals that are for sale, for lease, buyer rep, tenant rep, development, pursuits, or anything of the above, you can see them in a nice little list view. If you are a part of the Massimo group and you use Massimo Mobile, you can see here this represents what Massimo Mobile had in there. Some of it might have changed, but you can easily import that data in a few minutes right inside using our import wizard. You can keep track of deals that are for sale, keep track of deals that are for lease and see the deal amount. You can change the statuses that are completely customizable. And instead of asking yourself, well, what about those leads that I had on 123 Anywhere, you can easily see it and you can see all those leads. I'll reference another meeting that I had this week where I asked the client how long it took them to put together their reports. And they didn't give me a specific time. And I said, let me guess, broker A, B, and C does all this stuff in their email and everywhere else they do it, and you have to find it all. And the answer was, yep. Wouldn't it be nice if we can have everybody do it all in one place, create a nice little marketing activity report that you can send out to the client? You can choose a date range. You can send it to Word to customize it some more if you want to, and you have a nice, beautiful report with all the information on it. Well, that would be fantastic. What if you can add a graph to it? Well, that's even better. Now you can do it right inside of the RealNex program. It can also help you keep track of all your tenant pursuits, your listing pursuits, where the buildings are. We can even map the pursuits out. What was the next step? I had a client last week that said, I'm done with my current system. We lost another deal. Well, stop losing deals. Once you use RealNex, we'll teach you, we'll help you, we'll train you. Those listing, all the listing pitches, all your buyer pursuits, all your tenant pursuits, landlord pursuits, development pursuits, or recently we've been doing more and more syndication as clients have more and more equity. It has good cash flow, but now they want to go ahead and they want to raise capital so they can go out and buy more properties. You can manage all your syndication right through our program. The private and secure war room ties right in here. So you can access who downloaded or who did not download in here. And then last but not least, you can keep track of all your activities in a beautiful timeline. Watch the video that is called More Smiles, Less Dials. We talk about these templates and timelines, whether it's going to be, for a lease renewal, property for sale, for lease, landlord. You can have these assigned to different people on your team, create different phases and events, and it allows you to schedule a beautiful timeline, a series of events that can go to multiple people on your team, create a beautiful Gantt chart that you can let the client know these are all the things you're doing. And one of the ones that I really enjoyed yesterday hearing is, Matt, I do a lot of tenant rep work, and this would be beautiful. How can I track my spaces that I tour, and how can I report back to the tenant on all the things I'm doing? And I showed him how to do this yesterday inside the program. So if you're a tenant rep and you're not using projects to do that, email me and I'll show you how to do it. It's pretty cool. And you can see my last activity with an LOI signed, and my next activity is deliver a penny to value. Now, obviously, those two don't make sense, but they're all for demonstration purposes. So hopefully this gave you a great rundown on things. I know we're coming up close to the time, and never fret, because when you're worried about time, go into the RealNex dashboard. It's going to help keep track of all your time management. So everything you said you need to do each day will be right in here for you to do. You can segment it by what you need to do, whether it's in the future or in the past, and you never have to miss another event again. So with that, Jeff, is there anything else that we want to go over? I know there's just so many things to go over and there's so little time. We try to do these mini series. We'll continue to do more and more and more mini series that are 10, 15 minutes, and I will go slow, I promise you. It's just
Matt, that's
so
great.
hard.
I mean, you covered so much ground there, but there's more still in questions. Just to reinforce, I'm not sure if it was clear that when you went into the tour book that the primary use case of that is with the mobile app. So you can download the Transaction Manager tour book, Transaction Manager, RealNex Transaction Manager in either Apple or Android. That this would be on your phone, so it's not just yours, but your clients. That's the real value. The client has this on their iPhone or iPad or other device, and as they're going through the tour, they can rate and evaluate spaces. And if they go on a tour with multiple people, all those ratings get consolidated, so you get all the feedback instantly from the tour. which is incredible. Then it goes into a comparative matrix, not just the financial one that Matt showed, but also subjective of quality ratings of do they like certain amenities, or do they have certain walkability scores or other features that could be of interest. So that was a fantastic piece. There was a question, Matt, that if you could show on MP Direct, there are questions about how do you take Marketplace and feed it into your own website. Can you do that?
Yeah, and you don't have to do anything. Once you make the property active, as long as you have MP Direct, it's an easy plugin. It's a piece of code. You can put it on any website. If you need help, we can help you. And your property will show right up on here, for sale or for lease, your properties, your agents. If you're a single agent, no problem. It works for 1 or 1 million. Your listings show up on here, and we have different views. So this one here is a map with a list underneath it. And then you have another one over here. This is the one I like. It's more of a detailed search. This one shows for sale and for lease. We can even customize this section in here so it only shows the information you want it to. Same traffic conditions on here, polygons, ratings, business categories, heat maps or demographics. Clients can go ahead and submit, a contact us form on here, demographics, deal room and virtual reality links, including the attachments for those listings. But again, you don't have to do anything. You simply just make that property active and searchable, and pow, it goes on there as long as you have this. When you make it unactive, it automatically removes it. So if you're adding listings into WordPress site or whatever you're doing, or you don't have them, get this right away. It'll take Steve Brooks probably 15 minutes to create the code for you. So if you email me in 10 minutes, I'll have you up and running in 25 minutes total.
Everybody's asking for your email address, Matt. So give it away, and you'll be.
Yeah, let's do that. So my email address is msmith@realnex.com. Look, I love any kind of feedback. If it's good, bad, or indifferent, hey, this was great. Hey, it's not good. Whatever it would be, just please let me know. I try to fill in everything as quick as possible. It's tough. Sometimes I move in a different direction than maybe I really wanted to. With this tour book, remember, it's also free for your clients to download. I recommend, and what I've seen the best work is have a house iPad. Buy an iPad on eBay or someplace used, download the app, or download the app on a couple iPads and hand them to your clients. Your clients think it's pretty cool. iPads are cheap. You can get the mini iPads for like $100 used or less than that. Put the app on there and use it just for tours. Instead of handing out the tour book, just hand each person an iPad that's going on with you. I'll tell you, your clients' eyes will light up. And if they don't, there's something else going on, because you hand me an iPad, I'm going on a tour, it's great. I watch people tour in the business park I'm in, and they're coming 5 brokers at a time with duffel bags and everything else. It looks like they're going camping. They literally just need to bring an iPad, hand it to their client, make it easy. The client can voice dictate notes right into here. So you see live notes up in the system, photos inside of the property, and they can review that. Hey, we really like that you come in here. We want our name to be at the top, or whatever. Those are some of the really cool things that can help you. And you can win deals against the biggest shops, or if you're in a big shop, don't go to your marketing team. Come to us. Have your marketing team in here. So much easier to use. And we're here to answer questions for you. We are your source. We have systems here at RealNex, and nobody teaches us how to use it. We have to figure it out. We don't want you to feel like we feel. We want you to be able to call us and say, hey, I got an assignment. What do I do? Jeff Finn taught me about agriculture. I never paid attention. I saw farms all the time, but never thought about those as an income generating system. Jeff told me about it, so now I tell people about it. Now I help people about it. So anything in commercial real estate you need assistance with, whether it's analyzing a deal or getting a foot in the door with a client, you got a stubborn client, you got a deal you can't sell, call us. We'll try to figure out a way to help you. It's a family, it's a membership, it's who we are and what we do. There's also virtual reality, which I really didn't get to show you a lot, but here's a great little one they use for a landlord pitch, to pitch against other clients. It's fully dynamic. It's immersive. You can use it on goggles. You can use it on an iPad. You can use it on an Android. You can use it on a computer screen like I can. You can move around in it. And we can do this for tenant improvements or development, ground up development, or like this here is, a simple last mile pitch for an industrial building. Any other questions we want to go over, Jeff?
Yeah, one that came in, that was a great question. We didn't touch on it. In the tour book app, there is a tour report and there is a tour. So there's a mobile tour, there's a tour book that can be created, but then there's a tour report. So after the tour, all the notes, all the evaluations, all get consolidated and can be, the client can look at it online, but you can also print it and send it to them. So you do get all of that feedback and can provide that feedback so the team knows what everyone else thought, and you have it all consolidated neatly for them in a nice comparative matrix.
Yeah, and once you add the property in once, it's already there, right? So if you end up touring the property 6 months later, if you're in a team and somebody else tours it later, that property's there. So again,
And the
it's
other point that was question is, where do these properties come from? We have tens of thousands of properties that we've built into the system. We've brought them from our marketplace. So there's a tremendous inventory of properties, but if it's not there, you can easily add a building into it from your own CRM or other information that you have, and include that property in the tour. But a lot of it's there to begin with, to make it easier for you.
yeah. And if you're on the hybrid with you're logging in the desktop, get on this new program. I'm telling you, it's the best. You're probably not on it. I don't think many people are on it, but if you are, get on it. It's got all the new functionality, and every day we're enhancing something. I saw the development team talk about something and how it transitions and faster, and it's incredible. And all it is about ease of use. There's a lot of functionality in the program. You don't have to use it all. We want to make it ease of use. Right clicking, adding attachments, making a call. We want to make it simple, easy, and efficient. Appreciate everybody coming on today. This has been fantastic. I hope I didn't go too fast. I'm sure I'll get some comments that, I'm like the micro machine guy, but look, we're 3 minutes before, and I can go on for about 8 more hours. There's a lot of functionality in there.
We've got it recorded, Matt, so it's all captured. Anyone can replay it, slow it down, and share it with their team. We will be sending out the link to the video early next week. We do thank you all for joining us. We really appreciate it, and stay tuned for future sessions. We have upcoming sessions on investment sales, or just all of this repackaged, not just the same information, but a use case day in the life on investment sales, another one coming up on leasing. So we will be focusing on each of your day in the life use cases over time, and taking it in that drill down. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Matt. Hope you all have a great afternoon, and we'll talk to you soon.
See you, everybody. Bye-bye.